Well, hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here for our third call of springtime 2024. I'd like to welcome Tim, Cheryl, and Judy with me today as we give you a little information about green spring cleaning for our home and our planet. But before we do, I just want to again remind everybody that this is our third training call for spring, and just a simple reminder again that spring is all about the wood element and the nourishment of our liver and gallbladder. And that's something we covered in quite a bit of detail in our first call for the season back in March. And then again, was very honored to work with the same group again this last month in April, and Dolphin, of course, who's not with us today, where we talked about the benefits of a spring cleanse for our body and the benefits of that. And today we just kind of want to finish off the season here with, again, some ideas around green cleaning and why it's important for our family, for our homes, for our planet in general. So as we get into this topic, I mean, again, a lot of people, and I hadn't even thought about this myself until I really started looking at this topic, but Mother Earth does a lot in terms of spring cleaning too. And again, we're going to talk a little bit in kind of just a few specifics on the call today, and then we'll be posting a lot on our 5 Element website on Facebook, just again with some more specifics. But it's interesting, you think about the earth and just what happens in the springtime with melting snow and ice. And what does that do? Well, it cleans the landscape by flushing away accumulated debris and pollutants. Rainfall washes away the dirt and the dust and the pollutants from the roadways and buildings and vegetation, and helps replenish groundwater and cleans the rivers, lakes, and streams. I mean, even the budding trees, new growth on the leaves and everything can trap airborne particles like dust and pollutants, which increases air quality. So again, as you start thinking about Mother Earth herself does so much in terms of green spring cleaning. And again, we'll post a lot more about some of these specifics, but I just wanted to touch briefly on the fact that it's not just us, but Mother Earth herself does a lot of green spring cleaning. Cheryl, on the topic of decluttering, which is a big one here, I know that you have some things that you'd like to share with us about decluttering and what that can do for us. Let me turn this over to you, and maybe you can share a little bit on this topic with us.
Thank you so much, Mac. Yes, when we have a mess around us, our brain feels like it's a mess. So decluttering our home, our office, and you know what? Even our vehicle, because I've seen some vehicles that really need a cleaning job inside and out. Anyway, every space that we have clutter and debris affects our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So if you want to reduce your stress and anxiety, improve your productivity, have a better sleep, enhance your creativity, increase your safety around your home, and have better air quality, decluttering is extremely important. And the Taoist philosophy states that when we let go of something out of our life, something better will always come in. And having a healthy, uncluttered home, office, and vehicle makes way for a healthy body, a joyful spirit, a calm and inspired mind. And our home is our haven, our sanctuary from the outside world. And most of us spend at least a third of our lives in our home. And now that we have a home-based business, it's even higher. And so we want a place that makes us feel relaxed, rejuvenated, nurtured, sheltered, energized, and a place where we can thrive. So for more details on decluttering your home, your office, and maybe even your vehicle, stay tuned to our 5 Elements Facebook page, where we'll be posting some great tips for you. And I know, Mac, you've got some very interesting information about home offices and how to make them a better place.
It's funny, Cheryl, and I'm only laughing because, as we were talking about this in preparation for the call, and we started talking about offices and decluttering and everything, I looked around my own office, and I am not going to show you a picture, okay? I really won't, but the one we have here on the screen is close enough to my reality, which was a real eye-opener for me as we started talking about this subject, because again, there's everything you said is so true, including the first thing you said, which is we have to get rid of the old to make room for anything new coming into our lives. And when I look at my office environment, a few things certainly jump out at me for sure, and that is, what would be involved in cleaning this, first of all, in decluttering, and then what would be the improvement? And it would certainly, I know it's going to increase my productivity, it's going to improve my morale, and it's certainly going to present a more professional appearance in my environment. So those are all good things. And, when you start thinking about your office and the things that you can clean, I mean, things like evaluating your priorities. I mean, keeping only what's essential to your daily operation that adds value to your business. Automated processes. I mean, going paperless as much as possible and turning to things like software for for tasks or digital documents and those kind of things. Anything to reduce the paper trail, if you will. Optimizing the layout of your workspace. I mean, where you have your computer versus your printer versus, in my case, the fish tank and the file cabinets and all those other things in here. What's really necessary in the office? I mean, can I sell? Can I donate? Can I get rid of some of the stuff that has probably been sitting there for 10 years and I haven't even looked at, those kind of things. Establishing some standard operating procedures just about how you do things in your office and how you move within your environment. Again, there's so many regular things we can do here, including annual audits, which is something I've got to get onto. And I think in my case, it should be maybe monthly audits, the way I accumulate stuff. My wife refers to me as an affectionate pack rat at times because I always find a way to keep more stuff than I need. So again, Cheryl, you're right. There's so many ways that we can declutter and there's so much improvement that can come out of those activities. So thank you for kind of covering this topic. And did anybody else have anything else they wanted to say on decluttering before we move on? All good? Fair enough. Okay. As we always do, we're going to be talking about some Sunrider products today. So I just want to remind everybody that none of the information provided in this presentation is intended to represent a diagnosis or cure of any illness or disease. Great slide. For those new people that are watching this presentation, I just want to very quickly cover what Sunrider is about, for me anyway, why someone should consider this company. First of all, it's been around for 42 years now. That's exceptional in our industry where companies tend to come and go overnight. Sunrider's been around for 42 years. They are committed. They've invested in the future. We're going to be around for at least another 42. So this is a very stable home for anybody that's looking at an opportunity in the referral marketing business. Sunrider operates in 50 countries around the world, which I've shared many times as one of my favorite parts, because again, it allows me to travel around the world. I can interact with other cultures. I get to know so many people, and I can't tell you guys how many friends I've developed over the years in other countries simply because Sunrider's allowed me this opportunity to work in these various regions and countries. Sunrider internally 100% handles all of the research and development and manufacturing. Again, folks, that's really unusual in this industry where most companies will go to a third party with a recipe and say, make my product, and they have no control over that process. Sunrider internally handles all of the research, development, and manufacturing under GMP, good manufacturing practices, which are standards above what has to be done in the food industry. And what are we manufacturing? Over 400 of the world's finest whole food nutritional foods, cleansing beverages, weight management, sports and fitness, green household, and all natural skincare and cosmetics. Now, with all of that said, Cheryl, why don't you tell us a little bit, if you don't mind, why all of this makes so much sense and what our philosophy of regeneration really means to people?
Well, with so many companies out there in the marketplace now that are selling wellness products and promoting them as the best, right? There has to be some standout things that set a company apart in order to, capture people's long-term interest, And one of the things I love about Sunrider is we're a family-based business, and we think in terms of generation. So even like the Chen family are already passing part of the running of the company down to their next generation. And as a business owner in Sunrider, I get to pass my business down too. And that's really important to me in the industry that we're in. And the difference with Sunrider, you already shared a lot about how they manufacture their own products. But every product in Sunrider is based on a philosophy, and that philosophy is the philosophy of regeneration. And Sunrider actually coined that philosophy back when they started the company and made it the blueprint of all of our products. So even though you may see it out there in the world today, it all came back to Sunrider back 42 years ago. So what are the principles behind our philosophy of regeneration? Well, first of all, what is the philosophy of regeneration? It simply means that if we nourish our body and cleanse our body with the proper combination of whole food nutrition, the body can bring itself back in balance. And that's a key, because one of the things that we should always remember is we have to take responsibility for our own life. So that is key to the philosophy of regeneration. Now, the owner's expertise is number one. So you can have a company that makes products, but they have a scientific team they hired, or experts that they hire. But our owners actually are scientists, doctors, chemists. We know the art of Chinese herbal medicine. Like, we have everything in one package in the owners. They create the products. So for me, doing all our own research, development, having our own manufacturing, they're in control of my quality products I get to put in my body. And number two, we need to eat whole food nutrition from herbs as well, and not chemicals. Like, there's a lot of vitamins on the market, they're isolates. The body doesn't recognize isolates, it recognizes whole food nutrition. Our products are non-GMO, there's no artificial ingredients. Most of them are kosher and Allah certified as well. And the other thing is, there's not one ingredient that can fix everything. We need a variety. And Sunrider works with thousands of whole food herbal ingredients. And so, combined properly, concentrated, we benefit from getting this variety that feeds every part of our body. So Sunrider is a leader in herbal nutrition. We don't outsource anything. We do everything in-house. So Sunrider knows the art of herbal science, and we enjoy the balance because of it. Thank you, Mac.
Excellent, Cheryl. Thank you so much for that. I think it's time to talk a little bit about why we should go green. Tim, you've even got the perfect shirt color on today for this topic, buddy, so I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, sounds good. Well done, Cheryl and Mac. You both did it, so I'm looking forward to Judy here too right away. And why are we going green to clean? And why go green? First of all, it improves indoor air quality. It reduces our exposure to harmful chemicals. It's safe for people with allergies or sensitivities, so hypoallergenic, which is really nice. It reduces an environmental impact, and of course, it's cost effective because it's so concentrated. So you need the littlest bit to be able to do a really big job. So, like, even if you were going to do, let's say, wash the floors, I would use probably 10 to 15 mil of super clean. I like calling it super clean, super bright. And for a whole bucket or whatever, it's always super concentrated. So I got my own little list here too. Is of course no harmful chemicals. There's no residuals in those chemicals. And when we're using some of the harmful chemicals, they kill germs and bacteria and things that we don't want. But the problem is that those chemicals have a half-life, and they last a long time. So once they've done their job, they're still around your home, and if somebody is sensitive to those chemicals, it's going to create a problem. So one nice thing about all the cleaning products with Sunrider is that they dissipate. They will evaporate, and they will go to neutral, so that they're neutral. They're not sitting there lingering, creating a potential harmful effect, like for some little children running around the house and somehow they get their mouth on something that shouldn't be there. Nice to know that it was super clean, that might have done something there, because they'd have no ill effect, but instead of having some reaction, which we don't want to have. So, and the other thing is, again, it's not to completely create we definitely clean, and it does kill germs, but not to the point where it's a sterile or antiseptic environment. And if you study biology in the past, if you ever have a petri dish, you make that thing as clean as you can, because as clean as the environment is, germs will grow like rapid fire in that petri dish because of the environment. So again, when you have those dissipating chemicals, it doesn't leave an environment for things to continue growing. drying. Actually keeps it neutral. It's like using veggie rinse. The same thing with our vegetables, and we'll talk about that a little bit in a little while. And it smells fresh because it's made with fresh ingredients like citrus, citrus, lemongrass, and tea tree oil. Like it's wonderful. It's neutral and it smells good because it's real. It's not some chemical derivative of something that we don't want. Go ahead, Mac.
Hey, Tim, you mentioned a second ago, and I want to elaborate a little bit on this with you too. You mentioned the residual effect of using harmful chemicals and how they have a half-life and they will stay on things in surfaces and so forth. And you know that it kind of reminded me too about, sorry about the little funny little picture of the germs over here, but again, where germs really accumulate around our house. Would you share with us a little bit about that? And then, yeah, we'll get into maybe what's going on with some of those specific products here and right afterwards. But you know,
Sure.
where would you typically find germs around the house? You know, I mean,
Well, let's think about it. Like, for those of us who like gaming, you might be on your PlayStation, on your PlayStation controller, or in my case, it's a hand wheel. And so I love to clean those. And the nice thing is that they also leave a nice finish. They don't leave like a, kind of a residual film or something like that you tend to see. I don't want to mention any brand names that I'm not fond of. But in the kitchen, everything. I mean, if you've been doing any cooking, it's going to be on your counter and your sink and your stove, the fridge handle, anything and everything. And again, all living areas. I mean, in your living room, anything. My keyboard gets it at least. I do my keyboard at least once a month. Okay, like whether I like it, I got to do my computer keyboard, that is, and the piano keyboard too gets it.
There you go.
Got to get that, and of course, all these living areas. I mean, it's so easily applicable. It's applicable the same way you use any other cleaning product, but I guess you have the satisfaction and the comfort of first rate, and an environment and an afterglow. That's what I like about these products. There's an afterglow of knowing that it's clean. All your senses for that matter, and of course all those appliance surfaces. Any goodness, like my rub, the blender, or any of those things. I mean, anything you can put your hands on. And I tend to like to use it when I'm dusting. Off and I go through my place, and instead of using a more harsh cleaner, it gives me that satisfaction and comfort of knowing that I've used something that is really doing the job and not just doing a partial job. It's satisfying knowing that it's good. It just is.
It's funny, Tim.
With that,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, with that in mind, go ahead. I'm going to get you to finish that thought because I think it's important.
Well, no, you just reminded me of something else too. And that was, I was laughing with my wife the other day about the fact that, she's a big one about the sponges in the kitchen. Okay. And you don't want to leave them on surfaces and all that kind of stuff. And so we were actually using one of the products we're going to talk about here in a second, our fruit and vegetable rinse, in terms of a cleaning solution for even our sponges in the kitchen. So again, you're right. There's so many ways we can use these things. And Tim, you alluded to it earlier with some of the ingredients, but in our super clean products, which are both laundry and household.
That's right.
I think we all probably have a story around those, but do you want to just quickly talk to us again about some of these key ingredients and why they're so beneficial in these products?
I will. And I'm going to
Oh,
Uh-oh, we may be freezing up here.
First of all,
yeah.
okay, let's just take a second. Am I there? Am I waving?
We can see you moving now.
Okay, that's good. So first and foremost, like all Sunlighter products, they're highly concentrated. Even if think about your Candescent shampoo, that thing one bottle will last me a year. And I got some hair, guys. There's still some...
Uh-oh. Cheryl, Judy, you guys are still there, right?
Yes.
Okay, Tim is the one. Hold on. Hey, Tim, I'm sorry, buddy, but something's going on with the internet and we're getting in and out with you on your end. Heard what you were saying about highly concentrated, all that kind of stuff. If you don't mind, maybe I can pick up and then we'll see if this.
Please do.
Changes are going. Again, you guys, some of these key ingredients are things like lemongrass oil, very, very incredible in terms of a fresh, clean citrus scent, I should say, but helps remove grease and all kinds of stuff. Tea tree oil, incredible. And this is an essential oil that has a really crisp scent, and it's one of the strongest antiseptics and antifungals on the market. So again, these products are truly incredible. And I know for myself, and Tim, you've shared with me before your experience with this too. The only laundry detergent I will use is Super Clean. I tried to use brand X, Y, and Z in the past. I got rashes on my skin. I couldn't sleep. The smell was like toxic, that kind of thing. And Tim, I can see you're back with us now in terms of movement. Same story for you, right?
Exactly. Can I share my Sunbright laundry story?
Please.
Just because, okay, it's short and sweet. Just because I'm a holistic lifestyle consultant and I do body work or massage therapy. And guess what? I do a lot of sheets. Holy sheet, I do a lot of sheets. And so what the nice thing is, I always get wonderful feedback, especially when you're getting feedback when you don't ask for it. People ask, why does it smell so nice? How come it's such a wonderful texture to the material? And people just feel like they're kind of jumping into their own bed. And that's what I like. The more at home they feel, the more vulnerable they'll allow themselves to be, so they can do more recovery in their own work. So I can't live without I will not use any other laundry detergent or cleaning product for that matter, because I use both. And they both have their place, but man, they are second to none. But that's my story. The hypoallergenic, I never have to worry about a client having a negative reaction to it. And that again, that gives me a comfort and a peace of mind. I don't even have to consider it anymore, because it's never an issue. It's a non-issue, as a matter of fact. And it brings me a lot of joy and satisfaction, just knowing that I'm able to provide that wonderful environment for someone on their journey of recovery, healing, and regeneration. Definitely.
Absolutely.
And there may be some other stories out there too. Do you want me to? You already mentioned the ingredients. And does somebody else have another story they might want to share about these products? Either Cheryl or Judy.
Well, I absolutely love both of these products, and it's so wonderful to look under your sink and have one bottle in a spray bottle instead of 15 different products under your sink, or in your laundry room have the sheets that you put in the dryer and all the different sprays to take out stains and this and that. One product. Anyway, I have several cleaning companies that use our products, and I constantly hear from them how happy their customers are, because the first thing they say when they walk in is, wow, it smells so clean and fresh in here. Never it smells like chemicals. So lots of stories about that, and lots of people now using our Super Clean. So I think, Judy, you got some things to share too.
Well, like everybody else, I use only Super Clean for laundry. I have for so many years. And I remember when we lived in a neighborhood in Phoenix in the Paradise Valley area, and I like to take a walk in the evening. And I don't know if it doesn't seem normal to do your washing in the evening, but I don't know, I'm not going to mention a name either, but the fabric softeners. It would be so toxic in the air. I didn't even like to take a walk. And they have found that was a very large contributor to asthmatic conditions, is some of the different laundry chemicals that are typical out there. But your clothes, it just makes a difference in your clothes. And like Cheryl said, you don't need everything else. And the household cleaner, my goodness, I have a big bottle on there, and a dear friend in Hawaii figured out the milliliters and how much you saved. I was trying to find that. I didn't figure it out, but it is so much less expensive. You buy the big bottle and it lasts forever, because you buy a spray bottle and just put a little bit at the bottom and you use it for everything. Everything's stuck is what I use it for. It's great on the cat food bowls, the dog bowl, and it dissipates the odor, if there's any odor left from what they've been eating, and any countertops, granite, porcelain, quartz, fabulous. So it just does absolutely everything. And just think of anything stuck, like, sometimes I forget I have something on the stove, and then I have interesting creation at the bottom of the pan. That works wonderful too. So I use it for absolutely everything in addition that's stuck.
That is so cool, Judy. Sorry for laughing at that. It just cracked me up when I heard you say that because
Oh, the delivery.
we've
Good
got some similar things with it. Hey, just one last comment, and then Tim, we're going to turn it back to you again. But it's funny. You can see the little bottle of the Sunbright down there, and a lot of times when I travel around the world, I'll stay at serviced apartments just because I don't like normal hotels. I want to be able to cook for myself. They usually have a small washer and dryer, so I don't have to bring 50 different pairs of this, that, and the other thing with me. And quite often I would travel with that small bottle and even use our laundry detergent on the road, if you will. So again, great stuff. And thank you guys for sharing the way that you did on this product. Tim, back to you. Talk to us now about a little bit about breathing, okay? And in our Sunbreeze oil. There you go.
Here we go. Ooh. Sunbreeze oil, one of my very favorite things, and definitely one of the first things that I was introduced to in Sunrider. Cali wasn't the first thing, but this was, I think, number 2, actually, and I've really never left home without one, to say the least. There's so many ways you can improve your environment for breathing, and that's one of the reasons, the main reasons I like using it, even though you can use it for cuts and burns and any blemish that it tends to dry it up and make it get back into recovery mode more quickly. I like to use it at night. This is one of my favorite things to do because it's made in such a way and distilled in such a way and assembled because of the Chen's knowledge in this field, that they're able to create a product like this that's consumable, because you can't do that with other companies who make a similar product. It will be poisonous. It will not be accepted by the body very well, to say the least. But I put a drop on my tongue before I go to sleep at night, and I swish it around, and that usually opens up all the pathways in my nasals, and it allows me to get to sleep. When I'm breathing well, I'm usually asleep within 5 minutes or less, and that's just about every night, unless I'm all excited about something coming the next day, like getting together with you guys. So I love Sunbreeze. I mean, there's so many ways you can utilize this. Does anybody else have a Sunbreeze story they'd like to share?
I absolutely love Sunbreeze too, Tim. Thank you so much for sharing. I have it in my purse, I have it in my car, in the office, everywhere. And one of my very favorite ways of using it is we have diffusers by our bed. We have diffusers in the office and in the kitchen. And, every day I run a couple of drops of Sunbreeze with some distilled water in the diffuser, and our air in our house feels so fresh. And we don't feel like we have things like sneezing and allergies from all the pollen and things because of how it just makes you feel internally too from breathing it in. And when people come to our house, they always comment how lovely it smells in our home. And so love our Sunbreeze. And what about you, Judy?
Well, like everybody else, use it for absolutely everything. It's in my purse, it's on the coffee table, it's by the bed. Occasionally when I've worked a lot, been on my feet all day outside, I might get a leg cramp when I first wake up in the morning. It's fabulous for that. I've even, I think, shared before, I had a chance to share that with someone, an older woman in Walmart was bent over with a leg cramp, and I shared it with her and it fixed it for her instantly. So all sorts of things. I think it helps with my neck, have a tendency for a stiff neck if I'm not careful. And so for pain, for breathing, for just everything, it's limitless really. And you can even fill a bowl, a bucket, something, if you're coming down with something, rub the oil on the bottom of your feet, the Sunbreeze, put your feet in hot water, and it will open up the meridians right up the body. So it is fabulous.
That's a great one, Judy. I hadn't done that one, but thank you for that. Great recommendation. Well, I don't want to break the flow here like you guys, but like you all, me too. It's the very first product I was ever introduced to. It's throughout our house. I keep it in my pocket with me because you kind of alluded to it, all of you, the fact that it really attracts people. I'll just be out and about and I'll rub some of my hands and breathe, and it's amazing. Somebody will say, "What is that wonderful smell?" And it starts the conversation about Sunrider the benefits of essential oils, and truly the remarkable nature of what the Chins have created with Sunbreeze. Like you guys, I mean, I've never had an issue with using it both externally and internally. Any kind of scratchy or sore throat, couple of drops. I know Dr. Chin has talked in the past about he does a couple of drops on his tongue every single day. So it's great. Cheryl, like you, we have a diffuser in our bedroom. Guess what we're using in our diffuser? You know, I mean, again, there's so many wonderful things for this. And Tim, you alluded to the idea of using it for sleep. And, you know, how long have I been using this product? Close to 30 years. I had never thought about it in terms of sleep until you and I were talking about that. And it's amazing because, again, it was so funny. Just this morning, I was looking at Facebook and not in our group, but a wonderful lady in Australia, Katrina Valgrouche, had posted a testimony of one of her clients where this guy's he couldn't sleep. It had been like a long time. The guy just could not sleep. He put a couple of drops on his pillowcase at night and he was able to sleep instantly. So again, you guys, thank you for all of the wonderful sharing around Sunbreeze, but a fabulous product. And again, I feel blessed that we have things like Super Clean Laundry, Super Clean Household, and Sunbreeze to help us. So wonderful stuff. Moving on a little bit, time to talk a little bit about water. And again, you know, the next product we're going to talk about is our fruit and vegetable rinse. So again, you know, we talk to people all the time about, do you clean your fruits and vegetables? Do you need to clean them? And yes, we do. But before we start with that, I mean, is the water you're using even safe? I mean, look what's in a lot of our water today: chlorine, lead, pesticides and herbicides, pharmaceuticals, bacteria and viruses, and fluoride. Okay, can be in our water. Now, it's not in all water, it's not in every water, but I think each of us in our given region that we live in probably has some of these things flowing through our city water supplies. Okay. Really important there. You know, it's funny when we look at fruit and vegetables, there's an organization called the Environmental Working Group that every year comes out with their list of the top 12. They call them their dirty dozen. It's because of residual pesticides that remain on these fruits. And why do we need to be concerned about pesticides? Well, pesticides exposure is linked to various health issues, including potential endocrine disruption, effects on our nervous system, increased risks of certain cancers, and children are exceptionally vulnerable to these harmful pesticides that will remain on our fruits and vegetables. So again, this is a list that I look at all the time, and not that I need to, because fruit and vegetable rinse is something that we use in our household all the time, like I'm sure you guys do as well. And again, this is another one of those exceptional products, coming back to that philosophy of regeneration, Cheryl, that you shared in terms of owner expertise and formulation. Again, extremely concentrated stuff, as the Chins always do, that all natural aspect. Again, they're using a surfactant that's derived from corn and coconut. It's called decopolyglucose, but again, it's a all natural surfactant. And what makes it so special and unique is the fact that, again, a lot of the other commercial fruit and vegetable rinses on the market have a big disclaimer on the bottle that says, after you use this product, you need to re-rinse your fruit and vegetables. Okay. With this product, you don't have to, because it can be digested. So again, we've got this down with this particular stuff. And, you know, I know you guys are all going to share a little bit about how you use it and the various things, but it's funny, we've had conversations many times about being in the supermarket or even buying organic. Okay, do we still need this? Because again, there's dirt, residue, bacteria, chemicals, etc., that all get cleaned by this product. And I've heard stories too about even salmonella and E. coli being cleaned with fruit and vegetable rinse. So it truly is a special product. For me, myself, we use it all the time in our household. So many different ways. I mean, both just not with fruits and vegetables, but lots of different ways. And I don't want to steal any thunder because you guys have your own stories too. So I won't go into a lot of things that we do. But one thing I will share, two things actually, is, again, I travel with the small size of this when I travel around the world, because again, I do cook for myself. I'll buy fruits and vegetables locally there. I want to make sure I have this with me wherever I go. And lastly, I will share a quick story. Since I did share our disclaimer at the beginning, I can actually tell you this one. I had hip replacement surgery a couple of years ago, and because of either the antibiotics or the anesthesia that they had given me for the surgery, I developed a terrible rash on my body. Needless to say, I stopped any of the harmful pain medication and all that kind of stuff I was taking. But a Sunrider friend of mine told me about using fruit and vegetable rinse in gel caps and ingesting them, 3 capsules, 3 times a day for 3 days. And I don't know if the 3-3-3 was anything real, but that was just their protocol. I did it. I was desperate. It took away the candida that was growing in my body. People have used it obviously for athlete's foot externally in terms of candida. So again, this is an incredible product, so many uses. And now who else wants to share one of their stories about fruit and vegetable rinse? Maybe Tim, start us off.
Okay, well, let's start off with me. But for starters, I mean, I use it exclusively. Nothing that's green or orange or yellow or any all the lovely fruits and vegetables that we eat doesn't go in me unless it goes through a bath of this first, which is just so wonderful. I'm one of the things. Two quick stories is I remember sharing it with my dad, and my dad. He was one of his introductions to Sunrider, and once he got onto it, he noticed he used to like. I think I mentioned this in the past, but I'll mention it again. Is that he used to like making submarine sandwiches, and he'd make them out of oat loaves and things like that. There was always some greens that went in there, and he would rinse his romaine lettuce in fruit and veggie, and it would last for a couple of weeks in the fridge. And he said usually it's getting wilty or mummy by within the first week, but it was always nice and crisp and fresh. And not to mention when I'm soaking some fruits and vegetables that don't look too good. It brings them around. I don't know how or why, but I've seen wilty looking stuff, and I throw it in fruit and veggie rinse, and it just does a number. I also use it for it seems to break down fats really well too, and I tend to put a little bit in a bottle like I do with the Super Clean. I have them both in their own little respective bottles, and I'll just do a light sweep across the stove, just a light spray across the stove, and within 1 minute, any hard stuff that's on there I can wipe off. Like it's pretty cool, and like literally wipe it off, slick wipe it off. It's amazing. So that was kind of a little serendipity. I just thought, well, let's give this a go and see what happens. And it lo and behold, it kind of came through. But I don't use a lot. Again, it's all super concentrated. This one bottle right here will last, like this bottle lasts me a year, and I'm using that's 52 loads of veggies every year for so easily. Anyway, how about you, Cheryl?
Well, that's awesome, Tim. I'm like you. I use it for everything. I have the travel one I carry with me in my purse. One of the things I love to do with fruit and vegetable rinse is I put it in one of those little spray bottles, and after I brush my teeth, I always spray it my toothbrush, and then I feel like safe. And what I notice is when I go to brush my teeth next time, I put on my Sunsmile toothpaste, but it helps keep my teeth whiter just because of the residue left from keeping my toothbrush safe. And yeah, there's just so many wonderful uses. And I love that Dr. Chen feels this is his prize-winning product in Sunrider because he's so proud of it. I know we can be really proud to use it too. What about you, Judy? I know you got many stories.
Well, I do, but hey, we don't have all day, right? But I tell you what, ever since it was introduced so many years ago, it changed my life in the sense that it's really hard to enjoy fruits and vegetables at other people's house or restaurants occasionally if your thought goes there. So sometimes I'll just put even a drop in the water or whatever, because I just think so much of it, and it's so good. And Tim spoke to me unstucking things. That's why it's so good for fleas, mites, anything like that. So so many uses. But remember, you don't want to make a big bottle of it with water, because water activates it. So it's good for an hour. So you can do a lot in an hour if you're if you're geared up for it. But don't keep it sitting around. Add it when you're going to use it up so that you don't waste any of it. So shall I go on with how it can affect allergies? Or Mac, did you have anything else to say?
Just a really quick one. As you guys were talking, it reminded me of something funny that happened the other day. My wife actually pointed this out to me. We were in the supermarket, and she taps me on the shoulder. She says, "Look at that guy over there." This man, whatever, was he touched every single Roma tomato, okay, that was out on the display. I mean, his hands were over every single one. So if you think your produce is clean, bringing it out from the supermarket, think again, everybody. Okay. Judy, I'm sorry, didn't mean to take that away, but yeah,
No,
talk to us a little bit about
good
allergies, would you?
point. Okay, well, I really like this segue because when we were enjoying the Dr. D's calls, she pointed out that sometimes people are reacting to fruits and vegetables they buy, thinking they've developed an allergy, when really it's because they have not used fruit and vegetable rinse to cleanse the vegetables and all. And a big culprit is the bag salad, bagged lettuce and bagged anything. That people often just come home, rip open and dump out and eat, and yay, we saved a step. However, that really isn't as clean as it should be. So that's something to consider, because, and then if you're eating organic, yay, as organic as anything you can trust to be, because, you know, air blows over the organic fields just the same, but also there's parasites and different things, natural creatures walking around, but none we want to eat. So we always want to remember to clean everything. I would like to relate allergies to the decluttering process that we've been talking about with spring, because it's interesting. Allergies are most prevalent in spring and in fall. And now those are the transition months. And that is when the body is cleaning out. As we have attested to, in spring, we do spring cleaning. We also do, I understand everything from the outside. I'm drawn to the outside much more than the inside. But if we look outside, we have the dead branches, the dead debris from winter, and we need to cut that back so the beauty of the fresh new growth can show. And so that's what the body is doing internally. So we want to think about that as allergies are not necessarily our enemy until they're out of control and over the top, which they become if we don't declutter the inside of the body. And kudos to Finn with her spring and fall cleanses. But we can do that on a daily basis as well when we nourish, balance, and cleanse. And so that's another thing. Again, testifying to do not let the clutter build up. And that goes for inside the body. And I've heard it also applies to inside the house. Can't prove it by me. You can prove it by me, because if you do a little bit every day, you don't have as much to do. You don't have 40 years of accumulation of clothes, all different sizes and things like that. I don't know anyone like that, but anyway. So we think of this, if you think of your body as decluttering, and I'll tell you why. First of all, we have the top 7 there. And you look at that, dairy, okay, yeah, I've heard that. Different things. And then maybe you see peanuts and you think, oh, no way, I'm never giving up peanuts. I love peanuts. I love peanut butter. Well, hello. Oftentimes the very thing we crave is what is too much for our body. So again, it's the variety, not letting it build up. So oftentimes we feel we're allergic to something, and it's really, we're not having an anaphylactic shock, or we're not calling, you know, paramedics for anything. We're actually reacting, and reacting is different. It is often a buildup of the histamine in the body. That's why people with allergies take an antihistamine. So we can actually reduce that, number one, by not eating the offenders daily. And another thing is just maybe even a prolonged absence of some of these things. However, top allergy doctors say 4 days is pretty much what's needed for someone who does react frequently. So if you go through a period of time where you don't have dairy, you might get away with it one time. And sometimes people mistakenly think, now I can eat dairy because I didn't react. However, they did the next day, allergies. So again, let's think of it as not never, seldom, or at least not for every 4 days. And so there's no reason we can't control the allergies, even though we may have a tendency towards something. So I wanted to give that new thought, and definitely look look up about histamine and building up. We know all the symptoms. We all have a variety of those. Anyone who's plagued with it, it can be on your skin, the red eyes, the sneezing, the water running down the nose when you're trying to look decent and pretend that, it's just allergies. I think I have heard the term, it's just allergies more this spring season than I've heard ever. So why is that? So many of us are doing things for our health and all that. Again, it's a glass of water. If you have a histamine buildup, your glass is getting pretty full. And maybe in the winter, you did okay with a little bit of corn in the soup or whatever. But as you get more towards the pollen and everything else, then the glass overflows. So also pay attention to the time of the year on those triggers, food triggers, and probably eliminate it during that time. Corn, that's a biggie for me. Could be an overdose of corn chips I may have done once or twice. However, I've noticed now corn is not working for me. And I should have known that. When we were in Iowa, they harvested corn. I could not even get a drop of air, could not lay down, whether it's the dust or the aflatoxin in the dust. So anyway, know your body, know yourself. And then I don't know if anyone has anything to add, or do we want to go to the solution?
Let's go solution time.
Solution.
Okay, great.
Well done.
The solution, ta-da, is quinary. Quinary has all the foods we need to balance the 5 systems of the body. And of course, in our 5 cycle to what is it? 5 cycle to wellness? Anyway, our wheel of each season corresponding, we've talked a lot about how all the things of the wheel need to be in balance. Quinary has all these products within it. However, you can buy extra singly to build that section up more. So we always hear the illustration of the chariot with the 5 horses. You want to feed all 5 and maybe extra to the 1 horse that's not pulling the load as strongly. So alpha is fabulous for the immune system. Allergies, you have an overactive immune system. That brings it into balance. Prime again, fabulous, building up the adrenals, the endocrine system. That is a key component that might be down in allergies. Conco, respiratory, hello. Most of us are affected with the respiratory situation. However, I had a child with severe asthma, and digestion was one of the biggest factors. So we saw results because we began with the quinary, not trying to isolate one out and only feed that aspect, because, hey, we would have had it totally wrong, because I would have only focused on the respiratory system had it been my former way of understanding. So I highly recommend that you use quinary, whether you like it in capsule form, powder, or liquefied. All of them are great. It's what you prefer. And then maybe extra of the area that you know you have an issue in. So does everyone else use quinary? I'm sure you do. Cheryl.
I just wanted to say that there is nothing else out there like quinary. I just think it's brilliant how he made one formula, but that you could do each formula extra depending on what's going on with your body. And I have quinary twice, sometimes 3 times a day, and I always feel well and in balance, and I am so grateful for it. Thank you, Judy. That was awesome.
Thank you.
How about you, Tim? Do you have
I
any?
agreed. That was both of you with Judy. That was a wonderful, wonderful explanation. Yeah, there is no other food like quinary, and I mean, I guess I knew I missed it when it was out of our hands for some time, and just for the last 3 weeks, I've been having it regularly in my life, and again, there's just nothing like it. It's just like everything settles. Like there's no backup, build up, or anything that's in excess that shouldn't be there is moved on. There's flow. I'm certainly noticing it. I've been walking, doing all these heavy walks go out 4 times a week, and 5 to 10K, nothing serious. But what's interesting is I feel like I need to run again. and I've been getting back into, running a half a click, walk 100 meters, run another half a click, and just do that for 5 kilometers. And that's to me, it's just the symptoms of that things are in balance is that I just feel like I could do another 5K, and that's honestly how I feel. But that wasn't happening without a food like this. I can come close to finding. I mean, I studied the 5 element theory before I found Sunrider, and to cook and to prepare a meal that made sure I had something of the 5 elements in it would take me anywhere from 1 to 4 hours of preparation every day, and it worked, and it was lovely, and my health improved, but it was like nothing compared to Quinery. And so, or any of the other, like Alpha, AD, PA, Conquer, or Lifestream, or LS. There's just nothing. I can't say enough. I could go on forever because it's revolutionary in being able to find a food in this day and age where you can nourish yourself optimally, and the confidence of knowing I don't need any other vitamin going on. I mean, there's still other wonderful supplements that come with Sunrider, but maybe for those who haven't found their balance yet, but for those who do or want to boost a balance, there's all kinds of other supplements. But right there, that if I only had one go-to and that's all I could have, Quinery would be it. I love it. I just love it.
Hey, thank you all for this. And, I'm the same way. Quinery is a staple in our home as well, and has been for a long time. And in terms of our 5-element conversations, our seasonal conversations that we've been going through, again, we talk about each of these individual components because, Judy, as you said, they tie so well into the season and wood element, springtime, alpha 20C, so again, coming into summertime, endocrine system prime again is going to be happening. And so use these products all the time. I know we've been kind of spoiled here in the United States. Recently, we've had Quinery in a bulk container, so it's been so easy to use even more than I have in the past. So again, love this particular product just like you guys. And thank you so much for the great share on all of this stuff. Really appreciate it. Look, that's the end of our call today. Thank you guys so much. We just kind of wanted to end with sharing with you a few tips on reducing your footprint and some eco-friendly habits that we might all want to adapt. And again, folks, please, if you're not a member of our private Facebook group, the 5-element cycle to wellness, please talk to your upline, get in touch with us. We'll send you an invitation because we will be posting a lot in more detail about the topics we've talked about today. So again, thank you, Tim. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Judy. And thank you to everyone that's tuned in to listen to this presentation. Any last comments from our panel before we go? Nope.
That was
Just
awesome.
say
Great
goodbye,
job.
everybody, then.
That
Have
was
a great
awesome. You
rest of
guys
spring,
rock.
and we'll see you guys in the summertime. Okay.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. 2 seconds here.
Still recording.
Yep.